What's up, everybody? I am super excited because today I have been joined by Sabrina, the co-founder of Armored Soul, one of our Ecom Sales Engine 10K Club students. And today we want to talk to you guys a little bit about what her journey was like to reach some of these new levels, some of the challenges that she ran into, and some feedback and ideas that you guys might be able to leverage for yourselves to help grow your brands. So let's start things off. Sabrina, maybe tell us a little bit about yourself and your brand.
Hey, so I'm Sabrina Hayes, co-founder of Armored Soul, based out of sunny Miami, Florida. We are a Christian accessory and apparel brand. I'm also a pastor in my other job, so it's important to me that our brand stays on mission. And we have a very strong why, of course, which is to give everybody Jesus and love. So it's important for us to not just stay on mission, but also to do our part to get out into the world, which is actually a biblical mandate if you don't know that scripture. But this is why what we do is so important. And it's also why what we are doing with Mike is so important because he has the tools to help us get out in front of the world, not just for sales, but for souls too. So, yeah, that's a little bit about us.
It's a beautiful thing. Obviously that was a little bit about your mission. Tell us a little bit about your products and what you feel like, makes them unique.
Yeah, so you can probably see a lot of my stuff. My shirts, I'm always branded top to bottom. Always wear your brand, by the way, if you're watching this and you have a
Very good.
brand. But our brand, we are a Christian accessories and apparel company, but we are so, what's the word, passionate about being on trend, being something that people will actually wear. We are not your grandma's gold cross company, that's for sure. We like to stay on trend. We like to be cutting edge. We like to fit in with just like the secular fashion houses. If you can be hot and you can be stylish going out in some of these secular brands, you should be able to have that same look while you're representing, God and the Word of God. So, our only goal is to give people stuff that's incredible for 2025, not just in style, but in scripture as well. So, we do that through literally top to bottom hats to even high tops and everything in between. So, we're super excited about that and bringing it to the world. Mhm.
I love that, right? Basically letting people, showcase their faith, but not really sacrifice style, right? You get to spread the gospel and look good while you do it, right?
Yes.
There you go. Love it. Yeah, I'm a personal fan, so maybe I'm a little bit biased. I do have some Armored Soul in the closet, and
Yes.
whenever I rock your stuff, I do get comments on it, so that's a great feeling.
Mhm.
So, talk to us a little bit about some of the issues that you were running into before you found the e-com sales engine.
So I'm gonna be very honest. I won't sit here and say I'm special because I'm probably working through a lot of what other people work through with their brands. But we are a pivot. We are a rebrand of an existing brand that was 7 years old. And I know success. We broke $1 million our very first year out the gate. Mike, we were selling some of the crappiest stuff. It was breaking all over the place. Like we did zero monetized marketing. All we had was an affiliate program, and we had 300 affiliates. And with that, we did just over $1 million. We were doing six-figure months, no problem. But we scaled entirely too fast, which is an actual thing if you don't know what you're doing and you're not doing it responsibly. Um, and so, we had to trim it down, stop for a minute, figure out what was going wrong, get our supply chains and our manufacturers to a state of excellence. And so we took a year and a half off, and then we launched Armored Soul back in May of last year. And I sat on it for like 6 months because I was scared of repeating what I'd done before. And I played really, really small until like November. And then I started to go out again for Christmas. And then I climbed back in my hole again. Don't ask me what that was all about. But um, every brand has potential. Don't get me wrong. But I know that ours has literally explosive potential because I've seen it. with crappy product and no process and no emails and no nothing. So I know what we can do now that we have excellent product and now that we have direction and knowledge on what to do. It's just battling through that fear of the past. That's the hardest part. And I know for us, it might be for some of you guys in the audience as well.
Right. And when you reference kind of the past, that's when you guys had your physical retail location, correct?
We had 5 mall locations. We were all over the place. That's part of the problem. We went too hard, too fast, you know?
Got it, got it. And a lot of those were again, in-person sales, affiliate sending people to the stores or whatnot or promoting your stuff, but it was mostly stuff that was being stored out of your storefront. You weren't really doing much online, if I
Yeah,
recall.
that is correct.
Okay. All right. So obviously, like, you were kind of sitting on the sidelines, but you had done a lot of your success came from things that were not necessarily online, but more like kind of physical and letting the products kind of get and sell themselves. What were some of the challenges or things that made you nervous about marketing them online and focusing on the digital direction?
You know what? To be very honest, Mike, it's all control. Online, in a store, you only have to take care of the people that come in, right? And you know that's going to be limited in number because only so many people are going to come to the mall and go in your store and you'll be fine. Online, it's like, oh my God, what if the whole world sees it? You have no control over how many people are going to respond to an ad. Is it going to be 100? Is it going to be 100,000? And what happens if those people actually place orders? What the heck am I going to do? So, that was my biggest fear about going into the online space is making sure that I am actually representing not just my brand, but because, it's a Christian brand, representing God in excellence. And in my book, it was kind of like pressing past the fear of what happens if this actually succeeds, am I going to be able to handle it in excellence?
That's an interesting point you bring up. And, different people, fear can hurt entrepreneurs at every single level of success, right? And some folks will go into things, maybe the more common one would be go into it with fear of failure, right? And that's
Mhm.
like a kind of, and that fear of failure can be paralyzing. And because of our fear of failure, we can overanalyze and kick things to the curb and, procrastinate and make a million and one excuses for ourselves. And that's one half. But
Yeah.
the other side of that coin is fear of actual success.
Mhm.
And that's not something that is talked about as often, but
Oh,
it can be equally crippling.
yeah. Ask me how I know.
I mean, it's something, it's definitely, understandable. These are things that I worry about with some of our brands as I look at different platforms to expand into and migrate from this platform to another, and you're doing something new, and it's like, well, what if it does blow up? So, having, anytime you let fear dictate your actions, it's a losing proposition, whether it is fear of success or fear of failure.
Yeah.
And, as you saw, just the amount of time that it took you to even dial in on the things and seek the help and do what you need to, that's a lot of money that could have been
Yeah,
made in that time frame. A
for
lot of
sure.
lives that could have been changed, people that could be rocking Armored Soul, right?
I know it, man. We gonna catch up though.
Yeah, I believe it. Hey, that's why we're doing, and this is the lowest of the low levels that you're going to be breaking through. And
Right.
so obviously, you were kind of worried, lack of control, and because of that fear, would you say that like made you more hesitant to try to expand the brand online? Like, how would you say like that fear, that challenge impacted your business?
1000%. And I've been in sales via direct sales slash MLM for quite a while, and I always taught my team, don't just rely on family and friends because you will not grow that way. But here I am staying in that comfort zone of my Facebook page. I mean, Mike, you're on my Facebook page. You see me. I can post one thing and sell a whole bunch of them. That feels safe because you can control how many people are coming. You can control people aren't going to complain if they love you, right? So it's that whole fear of if I put it out into the world, will they love it? Will they hate it? Will they eat me up under my ad in the comments? I'm sure you've seen that too. And so in order to like kind of protect my heart, if you will, I just tried to play it small with family and friends until I could get up the courage to like go in front of the world. People who don't know Armored Soul yet, who don't know me and my family enough to say, yeah, that product sucks, but we love them anyway, you know. Everybody's not going to say that, and I have to be okay with that.
Absolutely. It's you're not gonna make an omelet without breaking a few eggs.
Mhm.
This is something I talk about a lot. This game is 80/20. Every single piece of e-commerce is 80/20. Marketing, 80% of your results are going to come from 20% of the things that you do, right?
Yeah.
Selling to consumers, right? 80% of your complaints are going to come from 20%, if that, of people. But you can't let a loud 10, 20%, you stop us from reaching the other 80%. Just
Right.
like, again, when it comes to marketing, right? You can't let, the 80% of things that you tried that didn't work out stop
Mhm.
you from going because you never know when you're going to find that 20%.
Yeah.
And when you do, that's 80% of your results right there. So there's definitely
Right.
some magic in that. So tell me this, how'd you find out about me?
I saw your ad. Your ads work, Mike, because I saw it.
All right.
I mean, I, I mean, most of us who are watching this right now probably see like 8 million thousand ads, and I can make your store, Shopify store, go $8,000 million. You know, I see that all the time. But, and I've actually gone on some of these discovery calls, you know, and nothing ever resonated. Got caught up by a couple who like fleeced me for tons of money and gave me nothing. Um, so I think when I saw your ad, it just seemed so genuine, you know, and your people were in the comments like, Mike is the real deal. He's not gonna rob you, he's not gonna give you promises, he's gonna tell you the truth about your Facebook, your website, which you do. Um, and I resonated with that. And I enjoyed the fact that you were willing to help us learn through the various groups, depending on where we signed up from, and that you seem to genuinely care about the brands and not just what you could make off the brands. Does that make sense? And it seems so rare in some of these ads you see. It seems so rare. They just want your money. They're not really interested. So yeah, that's how I found you.
I appreciate you sharing that. And for those of us that have probably seen maybe a couple interviews like this, that's something that, you know, you hear pretty consistently. And there's a reason, like, because I aim for that. I want people like you, Sabrina, and people like th those watching to know that like I'm a real person. Like the way that Matt, digital marketing and growth and scaling can seem magical when you don't really understand the processes and the systems and what goes behind it. But this is what I went to school for. Like I went to UCF, I got jobs, I worked at agencies, like it was my day job. So the things that folks find magical were just regular, go to work and do it type of things until I started my own business and I met my partner and I was able to scale it. So a big part of what I strive to do is to demystify this stuff for people and help you not look at it like, oh my God, if I could make $20,000, that'd be like amazing. I'd rather you feel like 20K. I mean, yeah, that's not a
Mhm.
bad start. That's okay. I'll take a paycheck home from that. But you want these things to be normal. And that's why I like to help people and help people understand the game a little bit before and first thing, like I don't even make offers to everybody I talk to. There's folks that are watching this that won't have the opportunity to join the ecom sales engine because I don't work with people that I don't think that I can help. It's
Yeah.
not about the money for me. It's about being able to actually change lives and being able to do what, I feel like I was put on this earth by our maker to do, right? So, you mentioned that me seeming very genuine was something that stood out to you. Obviously, like you mentioned, you hopped on like a bunch of different discovery calls and talked to lots of different people. What do
Yeah.
you think made you choose my program over, the agencies or the freelancers or the other programs and all the stuff that was thrown your way?
Yeah, so and no shade to any of them if their testimonials are true, which you never even know these days who's true and who's not. So that was a deciding factor too, is because you do stuff like this. I can see real businesses talking about their experience, like the guy with the curve pen. I saw him, and then some of the others that I was watching. These are real people with real brands, just like me, who are experiencing success versus ads that are constructed out of just, faceless feedback, and you don't know if it's real or not. That was the biggest thing. Second thing was, you weren't telling me that I needed to sell my house or get another mortgage in order to even start, which a lot of these companies are like, well, they won't even let you in the door if you're not already crushing in sales. A lot of these companies won't even hear you, which means, brands that are startups or who don't have a ton of capital can't even get started to talk to somebody. So, and then you saw the potential, right? Like it was important to me, even from the start, you saw the potential, you spoke to the positives when we had our first website tear down. But then you said, but hey, here's some things that we hadn't even thought about that can help you stick out. So you care about people's brands clearly, because like you said, there's a lot of people who might be coming in the door that honestly got a lot of work to do, but you're willing to go in the trenches with them and help them get it done to be successful. And that means a lot.
No, no, that's I appreciate you saying that. And that there's a key thing that you said there that not everyone realizes if they're not hopping on a bunch of calls. But a lot of these companies that are, advertising or trying to help folks, especially agencies, they don't want to work with brands doing less than 10K, less than 20, less than $30,000 a month. One, because, their fees are large and ongoing, right? And then on top of that, it's far riskier, right? The first 20K, really the first 10K is honest, the first 10K, you guys, is the hardest. Like 10 to 20 is consistency and doubling what got you to 10, right? But that's that's the hardest one right there. Going from 20 to 50 is really just optimizing internal processes and making sure that you have like the systems in place to be able to scale. But that's not even that big of a jump, especially if you're leveraging paid advertising, which I talked to you guys about, because again, it's just pouring more gas in. The
Mhm.
hardest part is getting getting your brands in a place where you can see the consistent success that you want to, not have it be like some fluky, maybe an influencer shares and you have a rush and then that's it. Or
Yeah.
we launch and our friends and family shop and then that's it. And it's like you have these spikes and then nothing.
Yep.
A spike and then nothing. You can't run a business that way.
No.
So, the systems are everything. And, I don't pull punches in regards to that. Like, yes, if you're talking to me or my team, there's a chance that your brand can be successful, right? But that initial first 10, $20,000, that's a process. It's not, a $27 ebook on Amazon is not going to show you how to do that. All the YouTube videos in the world are not going to show you how to do that, right? A $97 e-course, like it's not just, hey, do this, right?
Mhm.
Here's 10 tips to do that. It's
Yeah.
not that. It's understanding the structures and then, hey, what do you do when the bullets start flying? And it doesn't work out the way that this video said that it would,
Yeah.
right? Because it's real business that we're doing here,
Mhm.
right? So once you got into the program itself, what are some of the things that were in the program that helped you grow your brand? Without getting too specific, you know how this goes.
No, I'm laughing because first of all, you were in the program. I know you about ready to throw us off a cliff somewhere. Listen, Mike, it doesn't matter what you give us, videos, Zooms, the roadmap, X roadmap thing. None of that matters without you. So let me just encourage you on that. You can give us direction all day long, but it is the push. Sorry. it's the encouragement to keep going. I'm an emotional person. I'm a preacher, y'all. But without that, like none of this means anything. To know that somebody who knows what success looks like is believing in you and pushing you even when you aren't pushing yourself, that's the best part. I'm not doing this on purpose. Mike did not pay me to cry, y'all.
Gosh.
But I'll be very honest, I hid in a cave for a long time. Sometimes I still go in because of fear. And I don't know if there's any other marketing agency that's going to show up in your inbox and put boots to butts. Like, what are you doing? You're literally sitting on $1 million brand. Quit tripping. Come out the cave. But that part is the best part. But besides all that, let me get myself together, Lord Jesus Christ. I know you didn't ask me to sign up for this,
Look,
but
we're real people. You're a real person. I'm a real
yeah,
person. This isn't, one of those fake UGC things, y'all. This is me actually
no,
having a
listen,
conversation.
and I'll speak to the hearts of your audience. Like sometimes it's hard when you look back and you look at other people's results and you start playing that comparison game. Like this person's doing this person's doing that, but what about me? But it starts with you. You have to start looking at yourself and the passion your brand brings and the problems it solves and all that. And you've got to believe in yourself to be able to do it. But it is a plus and a bonus to have someone that believes in you when you don't believe in you. And that's who you are, Mike. So I just want to say I appreciate that. You are the best part of this program. You and Alyssa are just gold, just gold. So if I didn't get anything else out of that, I like that part. But so yeah, so the RevX roadmap, literally a personalized plan for each person's business based on where they are to get them to where they want to be. It's not a one size fits all program or protocol for each brand. That part is incredibly valuable because A, it says this person looked at my brand. I don't need what companies A, B, and C need. I need D, and he gave me D. Like that's huge. And literally step by step, followed along with videos and how-tos, screen shares on look at how I'm doing this. You can do it too. So it's not a just let me throw all these tools at you, good luck. It's literally a walking through with a paper map, guided videos, Facebook community, so you can ask all the questions you want. Mike, some of the questions you answer in that group, I'm over here rolling my eyes. So I know you're over there rolling your eyes, but you still answer. So this is another, like guys, you don't get left out because there's never a dumb question. Like and I'm a good reader of people, so I hear your voice behind the typed words, but you never come off like that was such a stupid question. You just answer people or redirect them to the right answers. But it's all inclusive on every level. And no matter what type of learner you are, you literally hit that, like tactile learners, you get to touch and feel the roadmap and look at things. People who learn audio visually, they get to listen to the YouTube videos or the Zooms that you post or watch the videos. The readers, you post resources for those. So you cover all the bases for every single person in the group. It literally is just up to us to take advantage of the tools so that we can succeed.
Yeah. My goal is not to turn you into an expert marketer, right? I mean, every business owner has to be a marketer and a salesperson. Like when you're CEO and you put that hat on, you're signing up for at least some of that. But
Yeah.
you don't necessarily have to become like experts. My goal is to teach you guys how to be highly effective managers. So that way you can actually manage your business and your brand for the rest of your lives. Like ecom isn't going anywhere. Phones are only going to get more advanced. None
Mhm.
of this stuff is going to change. It's only going to get more advanced. So the more comfortable you guys get with just doing this online and engaging with your lists. And yeah, sure, you can do free things and free organic posting and whatnot, but that doesn't necessarily give you the same level of control as
Mhm.
understanding how to run an ad and getting in front of an ideal customer and showing them something that will appeal to them and then
Yeah.
bring them back to your system. right? And the control that comes with that is immense. And then once you understand how to do this stuff, when you understand this is how this is supposed to work, this is an example of what it looks like when it's working. This is what you don't want to do. I
Mhm.
know how to actually do it. Then it makes it substantially easier to, you know, outsource because now we're not paying, $6,000 a month to an agency because they're bringing expertise and implementation.
Right.
We just need execution. And because we understand it, now we can outsource tasks for pennies on the dollar.
Mhm.
So it's about you guys having control for the lifetime of your business and being able to run it in a way where, you can still focus on the things that you enjoy doing. Now,
Yeah.
yeah, you got to grind it out a little bit early, but once you understand how to do it, that's the name of the game,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And, in your case, even specifically, like building in that muscle memory and just kind of getting in those reps continuously, right? Just continuous reps. You show up, get the reps in, get the reps in. Then a lot of like fear and uncertainty, it goes by the wayside
Yeah.
because you're not thinking about what could happen 10 steps down the line.
Hmm.
You have a vision of what you'd like 10 steps down the line, but implementation, you're like, look, man, let me just take the next step.
Right.
And
Yeah.
if we can just do that, right, again, for you and for regardless of where someone is, right? When you have
Hmm.
clarity on the steps, then it's just taking the steps and not allowing ourselves to just get overwhelmed by possibilities and options. And that's what makes YouTube University, right, so dangerous for folks because think about how many rabbit holes, like you went through it, like how many rabbit holes can you go down on YouTube? Right?
Yeah.
You watch one thing on Facebook ads, and now next thing you know, there's 100 of them in your feed, and you watch this one and watch that one, and 10 people tell you 10 different things to do. Then, oh, but it's TikTok. Oh, wait, but no, it's, this specific app that I need to add to my store. No, it's this specific theme that I need to add to my store. Oh, no, I just need to have this freelancer do these things for me, and that'll make it all better. And, you know, rabbit hole after rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Right? So you tasted some success offline, right?
Hmm.
How did it feel to hit your first 10K month online with the new brand?
I'm gonna sound real silly to most. I was not impressed. I wasn't excited. Thank you for my trophy though. But it was just a reminder of my mediocrity. I can do better than that. Period. When you know you can do better, that's like when you train for running track and you've won first place races all the time, but then you come in third, you still get a bronze, but you don't feel better because you know you were better than that. So it was what's the word I'm looking for? It was sobering because I used to celebrate $100,000 months. It's good. I'm not being negative. It's up, it's going up, but I know I can do better. So in actuality, it was like a motivator because I need another zero. I know what I'm capable of. And so that's just saying, okay, Sabrina, thanks for showing up. Can we get to work now? Type of thing. That's how it felt hitting 10K.
Amen. Well, again, you bring up another interesting point there that I think it's important that, folks hear, right? Because the offline world is not the online world, right?
Mhm.
And what it took to get your first 10K online, especially when you were dialed in and focused, right, is completely different than what it took to do, your first 10K that you probably celebrated offline,
Yeah,
right? And even, doing 100K from 5 different physical locations and what that looks like and how you manage that and what it contributes to that is completely different
yeah,
than what happens online. So it's good to say, you know what? I know I can make more. I want more. That's the type of mentality that, I want you guys to have, right? And
Mhm.
10K a month, and that's like I said at the beginning. Like I like to demystify this for folks. Like
Mhm.
10K a month, you know, if you're doing a consistent $120,000 a year, like that number sounds so big and sounds so amazing to someone, especially if they're, doing a couple $100 a month.
Yeah.
They've never sniffed that. There's folks watching this right now. They're like, 10K, man, I'll take half of that and be happy, Sabrina, right?
Mm.
But the truth is, no, you won't. If you're playing the game right, because what your first 10K month online is validation.
Yeah.
Validation that you had products, validation that you had systems, validation that you found something that worked, right?
Mm.
But once you have that validation, like I said, going from 10 to 20 is really not that hard
Mhm.
if you dial in and you lean into the things that you're doing. So it's it's disappointing to do 10 when you know what 20 looks like and you have a path to get to 20.
Yeah.
And that's what that's why I'm glad that you brought that up, because for you who hadn't made money from your Shopify, hadn't sold your products online like that, right?
Mhm. Right.
Now now I know how to do 10K and now I'm pissed off. I think I could do 20. I should be doing 20. Man, why am I not doing 50? Like that
Right.
that that sister is a shift. That is a mental shift because this time last year, you didn't know how to do 10K online.
Right.
And now you know enough about it to know that that ain't enough.
Ain't enough.
And we call those first world problems.
Facts.
First world problems. So, what type of advice would you offer to, an aspiring store owner, entrepreneur like yourself?
Kick fear to the curb. Like literally what I had to, and this just happened this weekend, whole other story I won't bore y'all with, but fear will have you feeling like you're comfortable because you're not doing the thing you're scared of. When in actuality, it's keeping you from getting out of that thing you're scared of in the first place. Like it's so dumb. You're scared to be successful, so you don't move. And now you're still not successful. You're just scared while you're doing it. Like make it make sense, right? Um, what is there to be scared of? Like what's the L here? You might lose some money if you invested in your business, but we lose money every day on all kinds of things. What if this could make you better? I think the biggest thing that I have learned is I'm either going to go all in or I'm not. I need to stop wasting people's time, including my own. And so if you have a brand you believe in and you're passionate about it, do what it takes to get it out there. Not to mention, people are buying some of the most ridiculous stuff these days.
Man,
I
aren't
mean,
they?
some of the stuff I see ads for are really like somebody spends money on this. So unless you have one of those ridiculous products, in which case I'm sorry, I'm talking about you, but unless you have or one of those ridiculous products, somebody somewhere in this big giant billions and billions worth of people in the world is gonna love what you have. Just do the work to present it well and to put your operations in place and don't be afraid. There's too much out here to truly be afraid of than to be afraid of what if this works? What if it works? That's a good thing.
It's a great thing.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, like, why not you?
Why not you? I'm telling you. I'm a very wealthy person, Mike. My natural just ain't lined up with that ideal yet, but it's coming.
But I mean, listen, money comes and it goes. Time only runs in one direction.
Hmm.
And if we are losing time because of the things that are within our control, then that's one of the easiest things to address right now. So, when you're with whether it's fear, well, hey, look, you gotta get over that. Whether it's lack of clarity, well, get clear, like whether it's me or someone else, right? Get clarity. You can't just you can maybe get lucky, but it's difficult to replicate this type of success most people want by just grabbing little bits and pieces of free stuff from all over the place and trying this and going down that rabbit hole and going or getting taken advantage of. So
Yeah.
whether it's, elevating your mindset, whether it's elevating your marketing skill set, right? Do what you have to do because, you know, the world needs
Yeah.
what, you know, the right type of business owners are bringing. Like if you're just in it to make money and you're like trying to drop ship whatever newest, hottest, flashy thing is, and you really don't care about people, I'm not talking to you. I don't want to talk to you, right?
Yeah.
But if you actually care about your products, and look, it's
Mhm.
like it's one thing, you could print on demand stuff from America, that's fine, right? Because you care about the people that you're selling to. And if you actually care about the people that you're selling to, then there's nothing to be afraid of because I guarantee you, if you care about the people that you're selling to, there is someone out there, there is a customer out there that will love you for that, and they will care
Mhm.
about you. And every long night, every stressful mental breakdown, every self-doubt, every other th all these things that we run into, doesn't that just melt when you see like a really good testimonial or someone sends you a good
Listen,
email? Doesn't it just,
I'm a huge fan of Dr. Miles Monroe. And one thing he said in one of his videos that really stuck out to me was every single person was implanted with a solution to somebody else's problem. So in our case, we are entrepreneurs. We bring solutions to people's problems in the marketplace, right? And he said, if you don't show up with the solution that was planted in you, people are going to miss out. So you owe me. You have to show up. Mike, if you hadn't showed up in the capacity that was planted in you, how many business owners would not be seeing the success that they have now? Right. So it's like every day I wake up, there are people who are my assignment to reach. And if I don't show up, I miss them and they miss me. I owe them. So you owe me whatever's in your heart that you form a brand. Somebody's waiting on you to show up with your brand that's been planted in your heart. You got to show up and you got to get it out there.
yeah, no, thank you for that micro moment that you just gave me there. When you because I've been doing it for a while. Like I said, marketing is, it's regular for me. A lot of the, especially with folks kind of at you, a lot of, sub 20K. There's a lot of similar things that folks are running into, and there's an element of repetition there. But when you said like, think about how many brands are like successful now that maybe wouldn't be without me like that. I mean, that's what I do it for. I want people to say good things about me when I leave this earth.
Yeah,
Like that's my motivation. I make money, y'all, but like I want to be remembered for the right things.
that's it. Yeah,
So,
that's good.
you know, take that as you will, right? And hopefully this has been motivational and inspirational for a lot of you guys watching this. Again,
Mhm.
whether it's working with me or working with someone else or doing whatever. Like if you are passionate about your business and your brand and you are a true entrepreneur at heart, that fire is not gonna go away. It's you're gonna feel it. You're gonna keep on feeling it. So the longer you push it to the curb or the longer you delay or procrastinate, the more it's gonna eat away at you. The more you're gonna compare yourself to other folks out there, right? And it's better to just shoot your shot and take action and take a risk, roll the dice a little bit, than, become, old and gray looking back and thinking about what if, what if,
Yep.
what if, what if? We only live one life, right? So, Sabrina, thank you again for joining us and sharing your light with the audience. And you know, look, 10K ain't a lot. Let's do 20, let's do 50, and then maybe 50 you'll feel a little bit better about. 50 you'll get excited. Will I get a little smile at you? 50?
No, I know what I can do. Six figures, no less. It's
First,
time. It's time.
first world problems, y'all. I will
Facts.
see you in traffic and conversions. Y'all have a great day.